3 goals, 3 points, 3 wins in a row for Graham Potter's side. Is he turning it around? Who knows? Welcome, everybody, to the Casually FC channel. Welcome to our reaction to the Leicester City 1, Chelsea 3 match of today. Listen, happy that we performed well. Happy that the Blues won once again. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come going forward and form going into Everton next week. But to give you guys a quick rundown of the game, to start things off, same lineup as Dortmund with the changes of Sterling for Mudryk, who was a little bit of surprise, and Reece James for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We went into the half looking good, starting off very strong with Koulibaly, who crosses in from the left side over to Chilwell, who Mr. Volley goes ahead, finishes it off on a volley as usual with Chilwell. Beautiful strike, goes and gets it behind the net. Then on the 39th minute, unfortunate mistake from João Felix, holding the ball for too long outside the box, having Patson Daka, I think, dispossessed him, or maybe it was Drewsbury Hall that dispossessed him. Patson Daka ends up taking a shot. Good shot. Not much Kepa could do about it. Gets him behind the net, and then it becomes a 1-1 game at that point. And usually after that, I would say the players drop their heads, and we either finish the game in a 1-1 or we lose. Not anymore. Later on in that same half, in the stoppage time, in extra time of the first half, beautiful flick over the defenders from Enzo Fernandez. The $120 million flick right to Kai Havertz, who finishes it off. For finally, Havertz is starting to go what seems like into his purple patch, finishes it off. We go into the second half, 2-1 up. And listen, Potter was tired of the 007 memes. He was tired of this slander on Mudryk. He said, listen, man, you are not coming off this pitch until you score or get an assist. And you nearly did score, but unfortunately, you were offside. You ignored the flag. You ignored everything. You celebrated everything. But unfortunately, he was offside for the goal. And then Mateo Kovacic did the Drogba, did the thing. And then Mateo Kovacic said, "You know what? Let's not. I'm going to take the captaincy. I'm going to take this. I'm going to be the leader here. Give it to me, Mudryk." Mudryk gives it to him off of his head from across. And listen, Mateo Kovacic was filming for Brazzers today because this man only has sexy goals. Only sexy goals.
No, dog, it's bangers only. It's bangers only.
Bangers only. Beautiful goal from Mateo Kovacic. We get the third one, and look, refereeing in this game very questionable. It took until the 87th minute to finally get a red card to this guy. The hybrid between Fellaini and fucking David Luiz and God knows who else finally gets sent off. So Yonchu's replacement, whoever the hell he is, finally gets sent off.
His name's Faz.
We end the game. Faz, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. It's Faes. You guys can figure it out. But big up to Chelsea. We finally go and score more than 2 goals. We scored 3 goals. It's actually crazy. It's crazy to believe that we scored 1 against Leeds, 2 against Dortmund, 3 against Leicester. Hey, we're going into Everton. We're scoring 4. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling right now. That's the trend. But just to get things going, Chris, tell us your thoughts on the game, man.
It's good, we got 3 games in a row. Today, 3 goals today as well. It's adding up: 1 goal, 2 goal, 3 goal. Do we get 4 the next one? But yeah, like you said, everyone I thought was brilliant, except for I thought Felix is a bit off today. But you know what? I feel like Felix today hitting that post.
Felix loves the post, huh?
He does, yeah. He hit the post again, didn't he, today? He hit the post for 4th, 5th time now, before scoring another goal. He did get a goal, but it's just about offside. But yeah, it amazes me as well. I was gonna say, actually, it amazes me. We played for 2 months or so, in a back 4, couldn't get a win. Now we go to a 3-4-3. We are literally keep winning now, 3 games in a row with it. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought now.
Oh, good. Felix kept hitting the post, you were saying.
Yeah, No. Like the 3-4-3 formation. Like it amazes me. Like we don't need to rely on attack, do we? Yeah. We don't need to rely on attack, scoring goals, so we can just keep the ball from the back. And shit, I lost chain of my thought.
All good.
Yeah,
No
just
worries.
move
When you
on.
get it back, yeah.
I think you lose your
Carlito,
train of
your
thought.
thoughts?
We didn't interrupt you.
No,
I know.
it's not bad. No, I've lost in my head.
I don't know, but
I've lost
Carlito,
my-
what do you got
Would
to say,
would
bro,
you
about
like
the
to know
game?
that I have synchronized my mind with Chris's, and I was fucking with him cerebrally.
There you go.
There you go.
There
That's
you
what was
go.
happening.
That'll do it.
No, I mean, look. I was actually looking back at my old tweets before we even signed Ben Chilwell, and I was saying, look, Ben Chilwell's a great player. So yes, this is me actually kissing my own ass, saying that Ben Chilwell's fucking great. It's about goddamn time y'all put some respect on his name, man. This is a very serious player. I watched his post-game interview with Sky Sports and everything, and he is so serious, man. He is so proper in the way that he's articulating everything. But at the end of the day, it's always about the team. It's always about we know where we are and we know where we need to be. We know where we should be. This is how he speaks. And I am very impressed with this young man, and I'm a huge fan because the moment that Ben Chilwell came back is the moment that we became a lot better. And it matters. It matters having personalities like that on the team because everybody likes them. And if you've ever been on a team, the guy that you like is the guy that you will pass the ball to more than the guy that you don't like.
Fair enough.
That's what I was going to say.
He
as
did
well.
have a good game. I was going to say, like right here, we have a stat here. Ben Chilwell today Ben Chilwell created more chances, 3, than any other Chelsea player today. It was today. He's also created more chances than any other fullback per game in the UEFA Champions League this season. So he's been a very
Marshall,
impactful
what do you
player
think,
since
man?
his return.
What do you think, bro? I mean,
I've always rated Chilwell.
Yeah.
I've always rated Chilwell. I've always thought he was good. I know when he first came into the team, he looked a little sluggish and behind. And that's because of his injury, right? He had a really drastic season-ending injury. So it's going to take some time to recover. And even the combination between him and Cucurella looked questionable. But now that we see him in better form and better shape and more, obviously, they trained more together. They've gotten to know each other, Cucurella and Chilwell. I had my hesitancies, but I was like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. We see both of these guys in peak fitness now. Let's see what they can do. And that combination has been amazing.
Marshall, can I say one thing? That goal that he scored, by the way, Koulibaly threw a step over in the final box of the opposing team. He threw a step over, a great move, and whipped out a left-footed cross, seemed aimless as it was traveling through the air. And Ben Chilwell tagged the shit out of it. And the reason that you have all these announcers saying the goalkeeper didn't see it coming. Dude, no one saw it coming. Ben Chilwell just said, I'm just going to rip this shit out of this. And he did. And everyone was like, oh my God, that was a banger. And it was a banger. And y'all got to give him some flowers, man. That was a great goal.
Yep.
Chilwell had a fantastic game. He's had fantastic games since he's returned. He's been very effective in that left wing position, in that left, the wide part of the field. And dude, we knew he had his finishing. It's been needing some polishing up because in recent games he's missed some very clear chances, which is very unusual of him. But again, it's him just getting back into the game, getting back into the swing of things. And today we saw it. That's always how he finishes. Always how he finishes with the volley. I think it's him and Alonso just love to finish on volleys. Something about our left wingers or left wing backs rather, or left backs and left wing backs. They just love having that finish on the volley. Andrew, your thoughts on Chilwell or the rest of the game? Let me know, brother.
So I didn't get to watch the full game, as Carlito knows. I was on the channel with Uncle Jester's a few minutes ago. I watched the highlights, and I've saw obviously reports and everything like that. It seems that looking at it, we deserve to be more than 1-0 up before they equalised. Our lack of killer instinct in the early part of the game, proving a downfall. Some issues after like 30 minutes of the midfield in terms of them getting through on us. Kepa was a bit shaky today a couple of times.
Yeah.
But those are the only real negatives for me. Otherwise, it was another good performance from Cucurella, Koulibaly, and Wesley Fofana. Ruben Loftus-Cheek filled in well for Reece James' absence, and Chilwell obviously scored a good goal and played well. Kovacic scored. That's a collector's item right there. Anyone watching, he's not a big goal scorer. Mudryk, 007 memes are now gone. You can leave him alone now. João Felix had a goodish game, but I need him to start hitting the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? I know he scored one already, but I need him to start hitting the back of the net. Kai Havertz played well, like you said. Hope this continues going forward. But I got to talk about Enzo Fernandez. This weird. Some of our fans are very weird about Enzo Fernandez. You know what I mean? It's like, but that pass, that was just the timing and good timing of the run as well from Kai Havertz, and what a great finish that was as well. But it was just an awesome lift, whatever you want, a chip or a lifted through ball or something like that, which players like that see. Only a rare few players see a run like that and able to execute the pass. But hey, it's 3 goals. First time he scored 3 goals since Milan at home in late September, October or something like that. The last time on 3 games in a row might have been Potter's early few games. Like we won 3 games in a row or something like that. I think like Wolves and then both the Milan games and both Villa, something like that. We go on to Everton next week, and then I'm pissed because there's an international break. It really breaks up our momentum. It really breaks up our momentum if we win like another game. Do you know what I mean?
Always happens this way.
But win next week.
Is this an important international? Oh,
no,
sorry.
we win next week. We win next week, and we hit our target of 40 points. You know, we're all good. You know.
Yeah.
Do we actually need 40 points though? Because I look at the bum.
Just in case. It's
40 points is like the average to survive.
The average, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like 37 is still enough if we did somehow lose every game now. Like
Chris, I'm not trying to lose every game.
No, neither am I. But I'm just saying, like we might go back to a back 4 because Potter feels more comfortable now because we have more points. But I don't think we will. I definitely will revert back to back 4. Yeah, it's too good of a formation with the players as well. I was going to say as well, like with this formation, I think with the 2 midfielders, I think with Enzo and Kovacic, that combination, maybe it's better in the back 3 that them 2 playing together, but like them 2 playing together in the back 3 is so good. Like you got like them 2 going up. Well, Enzo does sit a bit deeper, but he does push up. Like we see him push up. He does push up, but like but Kovacic is like everywhere up and down. So I think that combination is very good. And like people was like judging it after 1 game. I thought it's a bit too soon to judge like a combo of like 2 midfielders. So, like you gotta give it a few games, and it's so effective. I think.
I don't like them in a 4 at the back.
Yeah,
I think it's too open with them as a 4 at the back. In the 3, it's working well so far. So
I feel like
in a 3 defensively they look remarkable. Like it's just today, I think any chances we conceded were going wide. It was almost like we're back to that Tuchel like 5-man block in front of the goal where like we forced the players to go wide, and we saw what happened. Like a mistake from who was it? Was it
Felix where we conceded?
Well, actually, it wasn't even the Felix mistake was from wide, but then there was the James Maddison free kick, which was given to Maddison, but the refereeing, and you know, big up to Paulo for bringing this up too. The refereeing in this game, annoying as hell from the jump. That like you said, that first 2 minutes, that foul, that who was it? Dewsbury, I think. Dewsbury Hall.
No, it was Ricardo Pereira on.
Ricardo, thank you. Yeah.
Ricardo
on João Felix.
Yeah.
Ricardo on Felix. That should have been a red. Any other minute in the game, that's a red.
And then later into the first half, you also had Amate on Havertz where he had the big scratch on his chest. You remember that?
Yeah. It was ridiculous. It was a very physical game, and that was all on Leicester, making it insanely physical. And that free kick in the middle as well, like Fofana, that it didn't not much came out of it because Madison just hit the wall, but Fofana looked like he tackled it cleanly. They didn't show the replay, but like it was just the refereeing in this game is ridiculous, and the refereeing in the Premier League in general is just. I don't understand.
Can you tell me with that challenge on Felix, the one by Pereira, which should have been a red card?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me if they actually announced on commentary whether they even looked at that?
I didn't mute it, so I don't know personally.
I have
Anyone in the chat? Anyone in the chat know?
I think they would. They would look at it, surely, but
Andrew, I think what it was, and they do this sometimes. It's like early in the game they let it slide, and I don't like that whatsoever because it gives you a free pass. What makes it different from the first minute to the 87th minute? Because it would be two different decisions if it was different times in the game. So I hate it, but that's just the way it is. I don't know what else to say really.
it didn't. Well, at least it didn't affect us like losing or drawing.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't affect the outcome.
Maybe with the referee, like we did get a win, but like we know the referees like in the Premier League are like so awful. When you look at Champions League, Champions League refs to Premier League refs, I feel like Champions League is just so much like ahead. But like, we just know Premier League refs are just awful. Like, we had it a lot. We even had some like good stuff. And then when Thiago Silva handballed blatantly, he should have got a red card, but got away with murder. It just happens.
It's just frustrating because, it does impact the game. Like, these players, like some of these Leicester players got really lucky they didn't get a second yellow. It took until like the very final minutes of the game to get Faye or I don't know how to say his name. Faye sent off. Whatever. FaZe? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It took forever for him to get sent off.
His name's I think his first name is Woot, so you can say Woot, I think.
That's his first name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe I'll call him Woot. FaZe. But yeah, it took forever for him to get sent off, and it's just frustrating because it was a very physical game. We're just recovering from having such an injury-prone period where we had multiple players constantly out. Potter's finally getting these players back, and then we have other players like nearly getting injured because of how physical the game was. And when the referee allows it, you kind of give off a precedence that I can get away with this kind of foul, I can get away with this. Makes the game more physical than it needs to be. So that's just frustrating.
I just think today, as bad as the referee was, I'm glad it wasn't an actual. They had a really influence on the game in terms of we actually won it without them having like no one's going, I can't believe the ref, I can't believe he got away with this or stuff like that. So
yeah,
I do think
it wasn't like the West Ham game.
You can still take something away from that though, because like even though there wasn't a bad decision that went against us, the players' heads still could have dropped because there was just nothing going our way, and the decisions weren't fair. And that's my main takeaway from this game, and it's mainly to do with that, but also the fact that we conceded the equaliser, and yet we were able to show a level of resilience in order to eventually end up putting the game to bed. That's something we haven't seen in a long time. So you've got to give credit to the players and the manager in that instance. We fought through it and we came out the other side with the 3 points. So great overall.
Finally found it.
We didn't. We're still in 10th, right? We haven't moved.
Yeah,
up
we
yet.
are.
Ah, shit.
I think we're 1 point behind Brentford, and they have a game in hand.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's the Ricardo challenge. Just awful.
And the Kai Havertz one, like he even showed the referee, look what they did to me.
It's right there, Marsh. You can click on the reply.
Like that one is a red. Like it is a red. Like
even the Havertz one right here as well. Yeah.
I guess that what kind of annoyed me is like
it's absurd.
He can just injure João Felix like doing that because that is an injury like tackle, and the rest should like protect the players like doing that sort of stuff. Because trust me, like if João Felix did that, probably sent off. Like we've done it before. Like João Felix literally did that to someone's stud's ankle, but then the difference was it was later in the game where we said if it's later it's probably a red card, but since it's like 2 minutes, they can get away with murder basically. You can literally probably strangle someone and get a yellow card.
I remember there was a similar thing. It was almost a year ago. I said it's probably about 14 months ago. We played Liverpool in the Premier League in January 2022, and Mane in like the first minute, Albert Aspie in the face off a kickoff, and they didn't book him. So that's what I mean about these first minute kind of incidents.
Just a side note: anyone in the UK watching Match of the Day, right? So they didn't do the match of the day theme, right? They literally went straight into the games with no commentary. That's what they did.
So like a YouTube comp.
Basically, yeah. Without the theme tune, they didn't even do the match of the day theme tune.
What are we paying our TV license for?
Exactly, Chris. What are you paying my TV license for? What is this?
Well, the BBC, the BBC can hold that personally, you know.
No, like you didn't have anyone else to fill in. Like when you let go, like someone, like you
They all boycotted it. They all boycotted it in support of Lineker.
Okay, then Lineker's probably going to be taken back then.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not it's not the first thing I'm paying attention to, but it's definitely something that's developing. So we'll see.
So we're gonna go ahead and continue talking about the game, not the refereeing anymore. We had our say about the refereeing. It felt good to get that off our chest. But before I go ahead and do so, big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you are smashing the like button. Make sure you're subscribing if you're new here. Make sure you're hitting the bell notification. You don't miss out when we do stream. And check out the links in the description below. And also be sure to leave a comment if you watch this in the future. Also, we have memberships. Make sure you check out those memberships. I do have to give some shout outs here to the proper casuals, the people who signed up to the proper casual tier. Big up to Winter Surfer. Big up to Daniel, Stroudsburg Steve, OG Turbo Jesus, and Dark. Big up to you guys, our proper casuals in the Casually FC membership. One more membership away from unlocking a brand new emoji for you guys that'll enjoy. And by the way, if you guys haven't already, there you go, Oliver. You got ahead of it. Yeah, spam those emojis. Celebrate with us a good Chelsea, a very convincing Chelsea win. But let's talk about the game. I want to go back to what we were talking about with the pivot. I think it's safe to say that this pivot with Enzo and Kovacic is going to be the pivot going forward. I don't know what's going to happen with Conte, and that's the discussion I want to have. Is where does Conte fit in this? How do we fit him in? Do we rest Enzo to give Conte a chance to play with Kovacic, or is it Kovacic that gets rest and plays with Conte? I mean, to be honest, I've been really enjoying the games where we have Kovacic as captain. I feel like his leadership. I didn't expect it, but I feel like his leadership has been felt on the pitch. I think he's been doing a really good job being a leader.
With Kovacic, go on.
I think what it does is that these two are fit. I think what it does is that you can ease Kante. You don't have to rush Kante to start.
True.
So you can build up his minutes and then go from there, essentially. So that's what I would do. Yeah. I would ease him in. I won't start him as soon as he's fit enough because I think that'll go against anything. Oh my God, that Salah penalty miss is shocking. Jesus. It's not even close.
Yeah.
You see Don Hassan's reaction to that.
I laughed my balls off when I was watching that live. That was hilarious.
I would go on.
But just to finish off the Kante thing, I think that's what I'll do. Ease him back in, mix it up again, and then he becomes an option where you can then start to rotate Kovacic and Enzo out, because Enzo's played a lot of football since he's got it, man. You know what I mean? A lot of minutes. I know he's been subbed quite a few times, but I think I'll let Real Chris take it.
I was gonna say, like, you know, the Kovacic, like him being captain, right? You know, like how I feel with Kovacic. He doesn't really like lead by shouting around. I even said to you on Discord, Marshall. I think he leads by like just playing, like, you know, by example, like how he is, like basically hard work and all this. That like he just leads by. He's not like a proper captain, I don't think, but he's definitely like a vice captain. And if he has to step up to be captain, he can. Like I just don't think he's one of those people who's just shouting or what. But like Andrew said, I think it's gonna be like between like Kante and Kovacic, like rotation a lot as well, because Kovacic does get injured too. He does get injured a lot as well, so we do need to be careful because we don't want to lose Kovacic, and it could be like a perfect combo, like in rotation, like between them, and Enzo will need break as well. But yeah, like that's how I like look at the situation, like rotation of injuries.
And Oliver, I'm gonna go to you with this one, but how do you guys feel about rotating in Zakaria from time to time? Like he's kind of been left out in the cold.
I want to see it because he's been impressive when he's played this season. I really do like him as a player, and if I've not said it before, I'll say it now. I would prefer to buy Zakaria than to extend the contract of Kante. I think I think that's a more worthwhile investment. But onto the question, we do need to start getting them back in, and I think this is where we're going to have to start exploring the possibility soon of, like we said, we need to rest Enzo at some point, because just like João Felix, Enzo has played we started every single game that he's been available to start in. So, that's a lot of football, and you're moving to a new country, a new league, you're playing with new teammates. We don't want to burn him out too quickly, and we don't want to risk injury either. So with Zakaria and Kante coming back, that gives us an opportunity. We've got two quite similar profiles there, so you don't necessarily have to throw Kante straight in there, because we've got Zakaria to add the balance there as well. So I think we just need to take a patient approach, because Zakaria's come off an injury as well, so is Kante. So I mean, this is where Potter makes his money at the end of the day. He's got to manage the situation to a top-notch level.
And I think he has been managing it very well. I mean, in the past 3 games, I should emphasize that. The past 3 games, I think he's been managing it very well. The substitutions today, I think, were pretty spot on. I think it's the most spot on he's been with substitutions all season. I can't think of another occasion. I think taking off Felix was the proper move, considering, I mean, here's the thing with Felix. I'm not trying to bash Felix, but he's just been hitting the post too much, man. He hasn't scored a goal since that first game. And again, I'm not hating on Felix. I think he's good in building up the play and linking up, and being dangerous on the pitch. But you need to be able to finish those opportunities, Felix. You have to. You gotta stop hitting the post. It's like he loves the post. I don't know what it is. And if you're not being effective on the pitch, then the manager has to make a decision.
I think he's definitely, we've seen it through the sample size of games he's played at Chelsea. He's a much better playmaker than he is a finisher.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is a problem with having Havertz as a striker. And granted, he's been good. He's been good for the last 2 games. But when you've got Havertz moving about like he does, Felix is sometimes getting on the end of these chances, and that's not what you want. You want Felix feeding someone else the ball.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a problem. I don't see much else changing about that, because Potter clearly rates Havertz as a striker, at least for now. And to be fair to him, he deserves to play for now, because he's been good in the last 3 games. So no real complaints there, but it's just a dilemma with the team selection and how we're trying to do things, I guess.
I just think Felix. I want to see him play more. I don't want to see him subbed off, but having Felix come off, and who came on in this place? I think it was Gallagher. I think Gallagher's been effective too when he's come on.
Galladog.
He saved us today, Andrew.
Gallagher.
I know he gets credit, but what I'm saying is, it's like he runs around like a dog that's on his zoomies. You know what I mean? Like you let him off the leash.
He's been effective at doing that, though. I gotta give him credit. I gotta give Gallagher credit.
He's been more effective since the Leeds game, where I didn't think he was effective at all, to the Dortmund game where he was effective. Yeah, you're right. And I think did he switch formation when he came in the game?
Yeah, it went to a 3-5.
So, yeah,
3-5-2.
So
yeah,
it seems to be the game plan is to get when we get the lead, to sort of establish that, switch to a 3-5-2, and then hopefully keep the lead or get another one. Which let's face it, though, they did have I know they came on. We could switch to 3-5-2, but he did also have to clear off the line as well because of Kepa's flaps, in goal.
And then there was the one with Dewsbury Hall shanked.
That's what you mean by a bit iffy by Kepa. Okay,
yeah, because he miskicked it as well, Dewsbury Hall, and that was at 2-1 as well. So it was like, although we played well today, we were fortunate with some of their finishing.
Not conceding a couple.
The same with us. We had chances as well. I mean, with that Fofana header in the second, Fofana and Kai Havertz in the second half with the headers, stuff like that.
True. So, yeah, Havertz got a header saved by the keeper.
Yeah, and
good save too.
Fofana got one as well off the corner. So I think it's good. Like I said, it's win next week against Everton if we do, but just in national break just stops the momentum build.
I know, it's so unfortunate.
So it's like we just played a World Cup less than 3 months ago. You know what I mean? It's like, why do we need this international break so soon? Oh, I know why it's finances, but you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it really breaks the momentum because, like, we're all, let's face it, we're not watching this for. We're all worried about whether the guys come back fit. Do you know what I mean? Really? Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then we go into what's the game after? Is it Villa?
Yeah,
Villa.
it is.
Oh, Villa at home, is it? Or
It's
something
Villa at
like
home. Villa at home. Yeah.
that? Yeah. So it's like, but anyway, it's all
Why would
good.
Why would Fofana not be okay? Are you referring to the fans booing him and Chilwell?
Oh no, he came off. He came off a Badia Shield, didn't he?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they're fine.
Oh, God.
So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're fine.
Yeah.
You talk about Potter's management, right? There's one
Yeah.
thing I want to talk about is like his management. I think he's done really well this season. Actually, it's him benching players out of form. Like you saw him bench Koulibaly this season because he's out of form, and now look at Koulibaly. You saw him bench Cucurella. Maybe it's a bit different with Cucurella because he had like personal issues, but he wasn't really having a great time either. Now look at Cucurella came back in, having a great time. Now you saw him bench Mudryk for like a few games, and now like Mudryk's even got a GA today. Like he's got a sense.
No
Yeah.
007 for him.
Yeah,
man. No
like
007.
I think Potter's done really well with that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because I mean I know we were making fun of that emotional intelligence earlier in the season, but I think it's starting to show. I really think it's starting to show with how amazing Cucurella's been since he's come back. We went from a stinker performances to this now, where he's consistently doing almost man of the match numbers in these games. It's really been impressive. And same thing goes with Koulibaly. Koulibaly's turned it around completely. He doesn't look anything like the Koulibaly we were seeing after Tottenham. It's phenomenal to see. And now Mudryk, listen, Mudryk didn't have necessarily the best game today, but that second half, he was becoming more effective. He was waking up more. He was worried that his number was coming up because Pulisic was warming up, and he got an assist.
I think with Mudryk, I'd probably like to put that down to the positioning because in the first half we actually used him as the centre forward. Havertz was actually playing more on the right hand side, so Mudryk naturally a winger. When he got moved to that sort of left striker position in the second half, so I thought he was able to roam more into the wide space, and that helped him out a little bit more. But striker position unfamiliar for him, so I wouldn't really look too much into it in terms of the overall performance.
Yeah, it's just I've been impressed with how Potter's been managing the situation and the recent 3 games. Again, I gotta emphasize it is the recent 3 games.
The thing is, like, the actual man management isn't 3 games. And this is one of the positives you can say about Potter. Like there are plenty of negatives you can say about him based on previous results, and I hear all of them. And this is not me getting back on the Potter train, because I said on Lewis's stream, if anyone was watching, that I'm not going to be back on there until that at the very earliest. Those runner games in April where we play like Brighton, Arsenal, United, and Liverpool, I want to say.
Yeah, that'd be a real test.
Until we play those, and I see the performances against those. If we have positive performances against those guys, then I might be back on the Potter in train.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that he has done really well, as you said, is the man management. And it's not just with the players we mentioned. Like you mentioned Koulibaly, what he's done with their it's not just benching these guys. It's about taking them out of the spotlight, taking the spotlight away from them, taking them away from the criticism, letting them get comfortable, get in the right headspace mentally, and coming back in there in the right moments. We've seen it with Koulibaly. We've seen it with Cucurella. Even other players, like for example, Gallagher, who before, at the start of the season was playing more than he probably should have done, was having terrible performances, looked just completely out of his depth. And I still don't rate him, but Potter has managed to find a place for him in this team that makes sense, and has managed to find a job for him to do that makes sense. And it's a job that Mount could do quite easily if his ego wasn't getting in the way. And as I said, with Mudryk as well, it's why I have no problem that Madueke is not playing right now. Yes, I'd like to see more of him because I think he's a good player and I've liked what I've seen before this, but I have faith that Potter is going to bring him in the right moment where it makes sense, in the right game against the right opposition, and it makes sense because we're seeing it with other players so far. So I have faith that he'll do it right there. But on this game, I thought it was a really good performance. I said on Lewis's stream as well, I thought there was moments where I would want us to improve. There's criticisms and negatives I have, but on the overall performance, I thought it was good. And the fact that we scored 5 or 6 goals, yes, some of them were offside, but that's unheard of for Chelsea.
I thought
remember we were told during the week. I don't remember, Scott, that Mudryk might struggle to get in this team in terms of playing him. I don't know if you remember hearing some of that during the week, but it was like,
And yeah, I think so.
yeah. I always thought, well, why would he struggle? Because he'd be part of the front three, so he wouldn't need to struggle, right? We're not going to play with a left wing back or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I saw him players. Did I see him players like in the middle as part of this game?
Yes.
Did I,
Yeah,
did I see
in the
that,
first
right?
half.
Yeah,
Especially in the first half, he was he was the central player. In the second half, we went to a 2 up top, and he was more of the left on like a left striker, a left forward. But yeah, he was the central player of the front three in the first half. And there were moments where it didn't work. Like for example, his touch let him down a little bit at times. Like he also looked a bit uncomfortable. But I understand that I think it's a new position for him.
Yeah.
But like there were moments where he looked really comfortable on the ball. The build-up play to what's his face? Was it Ruben that put the ball in?
Yeah, the Felix offside goal.
Yeah, like the build up in that goal where he gets the ball up, drives forward into space, plays a really nice, perfectly weighted ball into Ruben, so he can put it in first time. Which again, people talking about like people having criticisms of Ruben of like doesn't always make the right decisions, is a bit slow. Sometimes this, that, and the other. I thought today for most of the game was the opposite, where like it was fast decisions. When he slowed down the game, it was for a purpose. Like I thought he was very good today, but yeah, like it's bringing him in. It's like the thing that he did as well was Mudryk came in to the team against a team that was perfect for him in terms of it's a team that's poor defensively, number one.
Yeah,
with like to play a high line. So he and with midfielders who we saw wanted to push higher up. So he was going to get space in between the lines and was going to get space in behind to be able to do more of the stuff he likes to do. And we saw it worked. Like for the most part, as I said, there was a few small things, but for the most part, it worked. And so, yeah, like as I said, I thought the game was really good. I said a few criticisms, like Kepa, that nearly costing us at the end, or towards the end. I thought as well, I don't know if you talked about them, but the midfield pairing going forward, I thought was spectacular. Defensively, I thought was shambolic, like genuinely awful. But yeah, like overall, I thought, as I said, it was a good performance, and I just want this to continue. So if this continues, it benefits the players because they get more confidence, benefits the club because we pick up more points, and benefits Potter because he gets more like backing from the fan base, and he gets more time to perfect the things that he has shown he can perfect at Brighton. Like it can translate. I just hope it continues.
I don't think Wesley Fofana's not injured, guys. It would have been reported by now. Okay, I think
he
that's
also, he also walked like the entirety of like the pitch. I think he walked
he was celebrating at the end of the third goal. He was celebrating at the end, so he was jumping about. I think he jumped into like Koulibaly's arms or something like that. You know, it was like that. So
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
I think the substitution was. I think the substitution was just basically tactical.
Wesley Fofana, every time he goes off now, because he's been injured a couple of times. I see. Oh, is he okay? Stuff like that, you know.
People are PTSD.
Guys, it's just
a bit paranoid about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of stuff like that. So he's fine, Carlito. Don't worry, he's all good.
And on Fofana
Scott,
today, by the way.
What did you think of Enzo, Scott?
In the second half, especially, I'm just trying to put it into words. He is an incredible player. And it's in that second half, especially, well, even with the goal in the first half, but in that second half, especially, you see why I want him playing further forward. Why I want him to be the guy, him to do what Kovacic does. Where, again, this is nothing against Kovacic, but I want him like Enzo next to a guy like a Kante if you can convince him to sit, or a Zakaria again if you can convince him to sit, or a Caicedo or a Zubimendi or someone like that. Because in the final third, his passing ability, his like weight of pass, his eye for a pass, like just everything. Like the ball, the one I can remember, there's a highlight or a clip that's gone on of the ball he played to Loftus-Cheek, but that he put in a cross and it got deflected. But he does this little, he does a little ball roll to like bring the defender in a step towards him, and then perfectly waits the pass like to Loftus-Cheek for him to put in a first time ball in. It's just a shame it gets deflected. Like he's unbelievable as a player. Like I haven't got enough good things to say about him. I can't say enough good things about him. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's that. No, credit to the timing of the run as well from Kai. But that pass, I don't.
On Enzo,
no one else
real quick before you continue.
most players would try and thread that ball on the ground through to Kai. They wouldn't think of trying to do that over the top.
Not
Or
even
the
that,
way
Andrew.
he did it. The way he did it.
No,
The way
I was going to say, not even that. Number one, no one else in our team is playing that pass.
No chance. Not a chance.
Not even that. Again, remember what I said about weight of pass? Anyone else in our team tries that, they're overhitting that straight into the keeper.
Yeah.
That he couldn't have weighted that any better. Kai, or literally all Kai has to do is that first time little dink. Like, he doesn't have to do anything else because it's weighted perfectly. He's a fantastic player. He's incredible.
On Enzo today, completed more passes, 68 out of 77, had more touches, 93, and completed more accurate long balls, 5 out of 7, than any other player, Chelsea player against Leicester. So he was just leading the pack today when it comes to. Listen, I was not convinced with the progressive passing in the early parts of the game.
70 minutes or
around 65th minute, I was saying that, and then all of a sudden, this guy just turns up, gets an assist, and almost gets a second assist because of the Mudryk. Or no, he was involved in the play with the Mudryk offside goal. But
yeah, you was basically talking about, he hasn't really done too many through balls.
He was good defensively. I was very convinced defensively. He was doing really great.
But then he somehow just heard, you know what, Marshall, I'm just gonna keep pinging balls now.
Heard me talking shit, man.
He was just pinging them for the last 25 minutes. It just kept coming.
Yeah.
It was just bad timing, because one of them was offside. You know when Mudryk scored, I think that came off Enzo again, or was it Kai Havertz, one or two. Anyway, but stuff like that, just it's a bad timing for it. We're just unlucky. I think playing in VAR as well, today, it's just so hard now, because back a few years back, you'd get away with stuff like that because linesmen ain't gonna see that very close foot or half a foot offside. So it's a lot harder now to be perfectly timed as a striker, not to be offside with the through balls.
And to be, oh man, I'm looking at it right now. I'm gonna put it up here for you guys to look at it from this angle. Let's see. Boom. All right, let's share it. The Enzo assist to Kai Havertz. Just the flick and then the touch from Havertz to get it in is phenomenal. And you see it right here. He's just so calm when he does it. He just sees him and then boom, right there. And again,
that's a great angle, man.
He almost scoops it, doesn't he? It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's something what Cesc Fabregas would do, man.
And again, Havertz playing the whistle as well. Give him credit there as well. We all thought it was offside. He didn't celebrate it, and then you look at the ruling, and it turns out it was onside. It was fantastic.
That's the sad thing, actually. I didn't celebrate that goal because I thought it was offside.
I was convinced it was offside.
I was just it's Havertz on the end of it. It's VAR. I cannot celebrate that. And then it took me a minute.
Havertz himself didn't really celebrate it when he scored.
He probably thought the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
I was put off when he didn't celebrate because I thought, oh shit, he's probably.
I thought he saw the linesman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on that goal though, I just wanted to mention this because I've noticed that goal is in some way it is quite similar to the goal that Felix scored, if you want to say it correctly, against West Ham. It's the goal scorer fainting in behind, off the defensive line, and I'm starting to think, is that maybe Potter coaching some patterns of play in a way that's a way we could score using that Enzo chip ball over the top in order
Oliver, can I say one thing? Because I have 20 seconds here.
Go on, mate. Yeah.
And Scott is a unique fan, but god damn it, was he not right about fucking Enzo? When I asked him 3 months ago, who did he want to be the midfielder for Chelsea? Without questioning, without hesitation, Scott said Enzo. And you have to give Scott credit for that because he was fucking right. He was right. Scott was right. All right, that's all I got.
Just to compliment it.
I said it in the chat and I would have posted it up, but it's okay. I guess it's more impactful in person.
As I was saying, I just sort of noticed that similarity between this and the West Ham goal. Maybe Potter's coaching a pattern of play here. Hopefully, we can see more things like that. More repetitions in order to unsettle the defense. Because if we keep doing that, and we know Enzo has the quality to play that pass, so if we keep doing that, keep playing on side, we're going to get a lot of goals because we've got good players that can do the business.
And that's the thing.
Here's
I think
the broadcast angle, by the way, boys.
with
Continue, Scott.
with Potter, that's the thing I've noticed. Like the last few games, it looks like there are things that need to improve. Like I think the understanding between the defense and the midfield needs to improve because, as I said, I thought defensively the midfield pairing was really poor today. But I think that some of that comes from the understanding between like covering angles between the defense and the midfield as well. Because, like for example, I think if Koulibaly steps up a bit more, like, and kind of almost acts as a sweeper for the two midfielders, that maybe mitigate some of that. But maybe that's just some understanding that comes with time. But what Potter I think has done well, especially in the last few games, is the understanding between the attacking three whoever that may be, whether that is Felix, Havertz, and Sterling, or Felix, Havertz, and Mudryk, or whoever, right? It seems as though they all have an understanding about, and even like as we said, like Enzo and Kovacic and whatnot, they all have an understanding about where they need to be, where other players are going to be. Like it seems like they are picking up like kind of where players are around them and the patterns that are going on the pitch, at least in an attacking
they're like
sense.
developing chemistry. Yeah.
And I think it's telling as well the fact that like it seems to be that Felix and Havertz are the two guys that are going to, for the most part, be in this team constantly going forward, and then it's the third guys rotated around them, because it means those guys are always are picking up and understanding constantly, and it makes it easier for the third guy to come in, whoever that may be, to then pick up on that same understanding.
Yeah.
And even like exactly like what Scott's saying, you can see it here perfectly. Look at where Havertz is, and look at how Enzo and Havertz are looking at each other. And then as soon as Havertz starts to jolt for a run, Enzo already knows what to do.
Mudryk's
And
offside.
again, the chemistry is right there, and then Havertz with the finish, obviously. But it's just you're starting to see in the patterns of play, like what Oliver was alluding to, and the chemistry that Scott's mentioning right there. And I hope to continue to see it. And one thing I was happy about with this lineup is that, like we said at the end of the Dortmund game, guys, not too much rotation. Really, two players that were rotated out. It's the same lineup for the most part.
Well, the rotations were necessary because it was James
and they were necessary, yeah.
And who was the other one? It was Sterling out for
Reece James. Oh
Sorry,
no, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, it was Sterling and James that came out, and it was Mudryk and Loftus-Cheek came in, and we saw that it worked with both players. Like Mudryk made sense because the team we were facing and the fact they had a high line, and as I said, like the gap between their midfield and their defense was quite wide at times. And James made sense, or Loftus-Cheek made sense, not only because James was ill, but also because like as a right wing back, he has found a place. Like and as a squad player, and I said this on Lewis's stream as well. Like this is why I'm fine keeping Loftus-Cheek. Not only does he help in terms of the homegrown quota for registration, but he has a place in this team for whether as a fourth or fifth choice midfielder that can come in and do a job when need be, or as like a third choice right wing back potentially next season, again to mitigate the game time and like the potential injuries for James or Gusto or whatever. Obviously, with them both being young, like I think he has a place in this team going forward, and it's why I'm more than happy for him to stay. And I said on Lewis's stream, I've got a list of about 10 players at least I'd rather sell over Loftus-Cheek, or I'd sooner get rid of than Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, and I don't think Loftus-Cheek has been problematic either. I think today, I'm not going to say, like Carlito's saying, he was my man of the match. I will say my man of the match is a toss-up between Koulibaly, which we will talk about, and Kovacic. But I think with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, he gets a job done. And he had moments today where he looked brilliant, and moments today where it was like, lackluster. There's more you desire from him. In the defensive aspect, probably, and even in the passing aspect. But for the most part, on that wing, there were times where he was just dribbling past the players and making himself available and creating chances.
He almost got assist too. He almost got an assist too. Player and he crossed it into
Who was
Felix.
It? Who was offside? Felix was offside by a hair.
It was close. It's Mudryk. I guess Mudryk did it before.
It was the Mudryk one where he played him wide and he put the first time crossing.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. We had so many like VAR decisions today. I felt like it's too many.
Oh, the ref and VAR was shit for both sides. By the way,
we've mentioned that. Yeah,
they should have had a pen like that. Fofana, like that was a pen. That was a handball. Like Fofana knows what he's doing. But equally, they should have had two players.
I want to talk about it. I don't. Do you reckon? I don't know if it's a pen because you know, like
It's
when
a-
you're in a war, right? Okay,
If you
yeah,
watch-
I understand. Like, yeah, it wasn't the
if
best
you-
quality because it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, so I had to watch like on a Discord. But you know, I can't complain. But you know when you like defenders, right, and you all like hug each other, basically, like how we did it, and you jump up and like his elbows are sticking out because you're hugging each other. Don't you think it's just something like that, or
See if I can find this on Twitter.
Because if you watch it, like Alex mentioned this on Lewis's stream as well. Like he's clever about it. Like he knows what he's doing, but he does it in such a way where like he gets away with it. Like if you see because they showed an angle or a replay of it, literally of like behind the free kick, and you can see that he sticks his elbow out to like block the shot. So it is a pen. We just got very lucky with that. Like if that's in, they mentioned it on Lewis's stream as well. Like if that happened in Europe, that's probably getting called as a penalty. Like
I actually do agree with you on like in Champions League and stuff. It probably will be, yeah. So
Scott, that's literally what happened in the Dortmund game with Wolf. You know, he tried to look away from the ball to see.
but that's a little bit different. I feel
like Wolf was a stone. Like Wolf is a stonewall penalty. You can't argue. Like I understand
he moved his arm to it as well.
Like, he still moved his elbow out to block the shot, but like because of the way his arms were positioned, his hands were positioned because his hands were like interlocked. Like with themselves, he like made it look quite cute. But then, as I said, like they should have had 2 red cards at least.
Definitely.
Yeah, they should have had 2 red cards. Like it's embarrassing.
I just thought because I understand like you said, Scott, you play football. Like when you're like in the wall and everything, yeah, you like lock on with your teammates, right, and jump up and.
He didn't lock arms with his teammates. He locked arms with himself.
I thought maybe he locked on and let go a little bit.
He didn't lock arms. He turned his back when he jumped.
His elbows were just like this the whole time, and then you see
he had his arms like or hands clenched together. So like he was holding his own hand effectively, and his arms are in, and he literally sticks his elbow out, and it hits his elbow.
Right. Yeah, and you see, like as the ball's coming in, his elbow starts drifting towards where the ball is. Yeah. So it looked intentional to me. I thought we were getting a pen, but we were very lucky that the refereeing was absolutely horrible for us.
Probably should have been, but saved it. As I said, like the refereeing in general, like the Pereira one, I can kind of understand because the timing. That Amati one, like. I don't understand how that's not a red card. Like, I don't understand how.
I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
that could be 3 red cards, really.
Where's the difference between that and the De Jong foul in the World Cup, like some years ago? Where's the difference?
Well, the difference is the official.
He just kicked him in the stomach.
He kicked him in the stomach. Yeah, and you can see
the marks he had on his stomach.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I don't know how that player got away with it. I found the Fofana handball, whatever you want to call it, elbow. I found it right here. It's a little hard to see it, but
see,
what?
Like how I understand it, because you're kind of like locking in with each other normally, and you do tend to let go. I don't disbelieve it like he did on purpose, because he said I didn't handball.
You see right there. He's not locking hands. See? I'm gonna slow it down for Chris. I'm gonna slow it down.
Oh, we're going full like 0.5 speed.
Yeah.
No, I can see it. It's just because I understand, like in the wall, like you can be like locked down to each other.
All right, you see, Chris. You see?
Because there's got to be a reason.
Boom. You see right there, Chris?
Yeah.
Little cheeky, but he did it. Right there. That should have been a penalty for Leicester. We got lucky.
Yeah, but we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it.
There's confidence relaxing down there.
We don't get lucky enough.
Yeah, just relaxing down there. But like, this is like the part. Like, I will say, like, there was a part of the game when we did concede the draw. It was in this moment where we did look a little shaky. But I got to give kudos to the team. We finally broke out for this game. We broke out of that mentality of like we can see the goal and we drop our heads. No, the team then proceeded to score and take the lead again, which we don't do often. And I think you guys can attest to that. Chelsea do not do that often, especially not this season. That's been so absent. And that's the mentality that we need to go into the next few games, the rest of the season, really. So, I mean, kudos to, I don't know if it's Potter that's instilling it or just mentality coach that we just got in, or just the players in general, like finally, playing for Potter.
It's not even just breaking the trend of this season. it's also got to do with like, do you remember like last season, like second half of the season under Tuchel, the amount of games that we would like go 2-0 up or 1-0 up and draw it at the end or lose it at the end. This is a thing that precedes Potter and it precedes this season. It's a thing within the squad, and maybe the mentality monster guy from the All Blacks, maybe he's helping out. Maybe it's Potter. Either way, it's getting us results. So can't complain.
Yeah, I do want to take a moment to discuss the goal we conceded, right? And I guess you guys let me know. Let's go ahead and review this play.
Oh, it's all like that's all on Felix. Like, Koulibaly probably could have done a little bit better in terms of blocking the shot, but that's all on Felix. That goal, like,
I agree.
Like, I thought he had a good game, like, or good 45 minutes. Apart from that, like, that was stupid. Trying to dribble out of play that like position there, it's just so stupid. There's no need.
The thing is, you can actually get away with that, but he was very heavy-footed on those touches. That's what lost it for him.
Yeah, right here. Lost it to Daka. And Daka continues on.
He only played 45 minutes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But if Felix has better close control there, he can actually get away with that and maybe pass it to
like
Chilwell,
what Kovacic does. Kovacic does that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
well.
to an extent. But he just takes these heavy touches and then lets Daka have the ball there. And for me, that's just a great strike.
You guys think Kepa could have saved it? Oh, big up to Lewis for the raid. Thank you so much, brother. Hopefully your stream went well. Hopefully you're enjoying this victory with us. Big up to everyone coming from
big up, Lewis.
To Lewis's raid. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell notification, check out our memberships, all that fun stuff. But yeah, like, do you guys think Kepa could have saved that?
Okay. Like, yes. No. I will say no for Kepa because he's a short keeper. I think like it's unfair, like maybe like to think that because like he's not a tall keeper, he's 6 foot. A 6'6" keeper. I will say maybe Mendy because it's Mendy. We were saying earlier, like there's some things what Mendy can't save and Kepa does, and there's some things like this, yeah. I feel like Mendy can definitely save, like, because he's 6'6". He has a longer reach. It's just like like how it is. Like he's 6'6". He's got a longer reach. But yeah, like he just can't reach it because he's 6 foot. It's just one.
From what I can tell from the replay here from the slow mo, it seems like Kepa's reaction time is pretty on point. He just unfortunately
not tall enough.
Just not tall enough. Yeah, which I mean, I'm not gonna bash him for that.
I forgot Paxton, whatever his name is, Daka even was
That's
still
in
at
Daka.
Leicester. I forgot he was even still there.
That was his first goal in 16 games.
Jesus. Yeah, he was highly touted too. I know people were,
fair,
bigging him up, and he was a good signing and all that.
He hasn't played
And
too
again,
much.
Scott? Oh, there you go.
He hasn't been playing too much. But on the goal, like, I don't blame Kepa for that. What I do blame him for is the stupid flap he had later in the game that nearly cost us.
Yeah.
True. And that was Dewsbury Hall that missed it. It was a clear. Yeah.
And stuff like that is why he will never be elite, because like no matter how good he is at certain things, like his ball playing ability, his shot stopping, the fact that he can't claim crosses to save his life at all, that lets him down. Like that, stuff like that is why he'll never be elite, because there will always be times where he costs either us if he's still playing for us or any other team he's playing for goals and games. Like it's not it. It's the same thing with Mendy and penalties. Like, it's fine. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's fine. But it means you'll never be an elite keeper if you're missing that element of your game, because there'll come a time where that costs you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys are absolutely right about that. And it's unfortunate. I don't... This comment, I don't know if I can agree with this season, at least. I feel like Kepa's been...
Play Werner goal today.
If both are in form, both are in the right mindset and in form, I agree with this.
Yeah, but they're not. So for this season, I got to say Kepa.
That's the problem. Mentally, Mendy's gone out the window, and like his form and everything.
The decision making's not there for Mendy.
Yeah,
100%. So, but yeah, I know. I'm sure people on Twitter are slating Kepa for this and all that, but like again, I'm not gonna get on Kepa for not making this. It's more on Felix, as you see right here. Like he gives up the possession right here, and he shouldn't be fumbling around with the ball here. I think probably another reason too that he got subbed off so early is probably to take some pressure off of him. He did miss two opportunities today, I think. Yeah,
Potter said in the press conference that it was tactical. So it's about bringing Gallagher on as that third midfielder in a 3 in order to be more defensively solid for the second half.
And you know what I will say, guys, that I did notice that was awesome. We went to a back 4 towards the end, right? But not only did we go to a back 4, we have a counterattack again.
We do.
And it looked good.
But this is Marshall. This is what happens when, and this is the thing, is like playing the way we did in the last, in the second half, but a lot of it isn't a bad thing. Same way for Dortmund, it wasn't a bad thing because you have an outlet and a way to score on the counter. This is the problem that me and others had with Leeds, where you took off our only outlets, bar Havertz, and we already know his hold-up play isn't great all the time, especially when he's isolated. You took off all our outlets. So it meant we had no outlet. Whereas in the Dortmund game and in this game, we had outlets with Mudryk and with Sterling, or was it Sterling or Pulisic, whoever it was in the Dortmund game. You had outlets, which meant that if the other team, Leicester, did push up high, which they did, especially they like to play with a high line anyway, it means you can hurt them. And we did. We started to counter-attack more. We started to get in behind more. It's Mudryk could have had his goal if he manages to stay on side and whatnot. That's what happens when you leave an outlet on the pitch. It means you can afford to soak up pressure and let a few chances come against you because you know that in the other direction you can hurt them.
By the way, 130 of you guys watching, smash that like button. Let's get it at least up to 50 likes. Come on, guys. It's a Chelsea win. Let's celebrate a Chelsea win by smashing those like. Make sure you check out the memberships. We got 4 different tiers starting at 99p. We're 1 more membership away from a brand new emoji to be unlocked. If you guys already are members, spam that emoji in the chat. Show them what we're talking about. And yeah, thank you guys for being here from the raid and also for joining us in this discussion. But yeah, it's nice to finally have a counterattack, and we have players that suit that counterattack too, and also midfielders that can ping a ball to someone who can actually start a counterattack. It's just, it's great to see. I don't know if any of you guys wanted to chip in on the fact that we have a counterattack.
I will say, you know how people say Chelsea go to a Tuchel formation and everything, but I noticed a little bit of a difference. Like you said, there's a counter attack side even with the 3-4-3. It's not trying to hold on to the ball. I've noticed even with the Dortmund game, even today, we're not really holding on to the ball. We're just basically trying to counter, move the ball up really quickly and just quickly attack. But we have it's a different system. That's why the same formations ain't always the same system how we play it. But I have noticed a big difference, style play, because Potter's got his own style.
I will say, and I got to bring this up now, Koulibaly, he's going to be a headache now, because when Silva comes back, do you move Koulibaly to the LCB, and then what do you do with Cucurella? Because Cucurella's been playing fantastic as well. And Fofana, you gotta give Fofana credit. Well, real quick, Oliver, before you go, Fofana today. This is his stats. I got it right here: 2 clearances, 2 block shots, 2 tackles, 1 interception, 3 out of 5 ground duels, 1 dribble. He did not get dribble pass today. Again, it's Leicester. You can take that as a grain of salt, whatever you want. But he's been fantastic as well. So this back three pairing of Koulibaly, Fofana, and Cucurella have been fantastic. And I almost don't want to touch it, but at the same time, Thiago Silva's been prime for us. So where do we go from here? What happens to Koulibaly?
I think you can afford to drop him. It depends on how Potter manages that situation, because if he manages that situation well, he seems to have managed the Cucurella and Badiashile situation well, you can make it work. It just depends on how he manages it, because I think there's scope to bring Silva back into the team because he's our best centre back. But then also, what it means is that it allows more rotation, allows more rest for what's his name, Silva. Say for example, when we have those run of 4 games where we literally play 4 games in 2 weeks. Yeah. For let's say for United and Arsenal, you probably go with Silva. It means for Liverpool and Brighton, as long as he's still in good form, you can go with Koulibaly, and it shouldn't be a problem. It just allows for that. It's a good thing having this many people in form. This many people.
What it means is, hey, Thiago, you can fully rehab.
True.
Your knee. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've literally got
Badiashile came off the bench today, right?
Yeah.
And you still
Yeah.
and you still got the option of Chalobah in some games. You know what I mean? No one's even talking about Chalobah at the moment, but you got Cucurella playing well. But what it means is Thiago Silva doesn't have to be rushed back. See what I mean? We played well without him. I'm not saying when he comes back, he goes straight. When he's ready, he goes straight in, right?
Yeah.
But what it means is that we don't have to rush him back. You know, that was the problem. It's like we can't do anything about Thiago Silva in the back. No. Now we can. You know, the three at the back with Koulibaly obviously playing centrally for Farn off the right and whoever on the left, whether it's Badiashile or Cucurella. It's just you don't need to rush him back. I mean, what is he like 2 weeks into a 6-week absence? I think he is, something like that. So it's just good to have the options that we don't have to rush him back, which is the main thing. So.
And I do like the option of rotating him as long as these players keep the consistency and don't fall off when they get rotated. I think it'd be nice because I look, as much as I love Thiago Silva, I just don't want him playing every single game. Not because I don't want his performances. I just want to keep him safe. You know what I mean? Like, I know this guy's like, he's been fit and he barely ever gets injured. He's very reliable, but you never know with football, man. It just takes one bad tackle, one aggressive player, and there you go. Thiago Silva's out again. And he's really pivotal to this game. So pivotal to our team. So I really want him in there for those really, really important games, especially since we're still in Champions League, especially at the tail end of the Prem where, look, despite what you may believe of the team, whether you're Potter in, Potter out, or whatever you stand, there's still a chance for us to make Europe. There's still a chance for us to compete for places in European football. I don't think it's going to be top 4, but regardless, it's still there. So we need Thiago Silva to be available for those games. So I do want him rotated just to keep him safe. Put some cellophane and bubble wrapping on him just to, please. Like, we can rotate him. And
you talk about top 4. We're like we have 37 points, and Liverpool, who are 5th, have 42 points. Like this table's crazy. I'm just giving a little bit of maybe hope. I don't think we're doing it.
Tottenham are 11 ahead of us. So.
Oh yeah. How many? They played one extra game? Okay.
We got good hands, but even so, like, I can't lie. I'm not looking towards top 4. I'm just looking towards performances. Like, I couldn't care less where we finish, how many points we finish on. I just care about the performances. As long as the performances are good, I'm fine.
I think we might actually get some sort of European spot still this season if we keep with the back three. The back three is solid.
If we do. If we don't, we don't.
No, yeah.
I think the pivotal thing we're gonna have to recover well from having an international break after the Everton game, because
that seems to always throw off our form.
That has been a common downfall recently. We just can't. If we've got a bit of momentum going into a break, we can't manage to recover that when we come back. So I guess that'll be a big test for the team. So fingers crossed that they manage to pull through.
Yeah, and I hope so. I guess one more thing to talk about that we haven't really touched on is Havertz and I guess Mudryk too, but like Havertz mostly. The form is looking good. I hope he keeps it up. But are you guys convinced, or do you think this is just good 2 games and it's back to good old Havertz?
This is typical Kai.
Yeah. I was gonna say we can't judge it yet. This is like we're into March Havertz. We're second half of the season Havertz. We're literally in that.
It's almost Scott. It's almost not even second half of the season. This is like the last third of the season Havertz. It's gonna get really minuscule at this point, man.
It might not even be that. It might just be purple. It might just be March purple patch. That's all it might be. It might just be a month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I hope he carries it on, because then like it's positive for Chelsea. But like, I can't judge it now. Because, like, for example, we play Everton next weekend, don't we? Like, we might go there, and he might have a stinker, or he might play really well. But then we come back after the international break, and he has a poor international break. So comes back after the international break, and then comes back and has the same performances he was having before this, like, couple of games. So I just need to wait. I hope it continues, but I hope it continues. But I just need to wait. Like, if he's still having these same performances, you know, come the end of April, come the end of the season, then a conversation can be had. Right now, a conversation cannot be had. Praise him, but don't go overboard. Don't start saying he's back. because we did this last year. Well, I
Do
didn't.
you
but
think?
people
Do you think this recent patch of form is because of Potter? Because of Potter trusting him and relying on him despite all the shit form?
I think so. I think it comes, like I said earlier, it comes down to chemistry with other players and learning patterns of play and stuff like that. But yeah, I need to see, because like we saw it last season at times as well. We saw it the season before as well under Tuchel. I just need to see it more often. I can't make a judgment until I have a bigger sample size. Like I just can't
That's
make a
fair.
judgment on him, where he is, how he's doing. What I will say is it's quite clear that not having his twin on the pitch is doing him a world of good.
Yeah.
In fact, the
Where is
entire
this
team, the entire team not having that chuckle brother on the pitch is doing a world of good for them. Yeah, like I can't judge him. I can't judge on where he is as a player, where he fits in his team, his position, whether it's worth keeping him, any of that until a bigger sample size. Like I can't judge it.
I wanted to
Yeah.
say on the position that I know it was just for a first half, but that's the most convincing I think that I've ever seen him playing on the right hand side of an attack. One of the things that really impressed me, he was the one that played the ball. He cut inside and played the ball to Felix for the one that he hit the post on, and in that point, Havertz, you're doing all you can there. You're giving him the full opportunity to go and do something with that. But yeah, it was overall positive. I thought he usually plays as a central striker, as a lone striker. Not really worked out for him, but so we changed that today. He played on the right first half, and the second half he played right striker in a 2. So it's a different use of him, but I thought he got a decent level out of him. So we hope for, everyone here, we just all hope that he continues with it, because it's the consistency that has plagued him for the whole time. So long may it continue, I guess.
I would. What Sammy said is funny.
I can't even lie. He's kind of spitting, Like the more I think about it, he's kind of spitting. Like at first it hurts. Like you think about it, it's like, well, not for me, obviously. I don't give a fuck if he was still here or not. But like, it kind of hurts. And it's like, oh no, but he can't be better without him. Like it can't be better because he's quote unquote
You
proper
can't see
Chelsea.
past that, yeah.
All of that. Yeah, you can't see it like a future, and then it's like you start getting past that and you start seeing the games, or in this case, like you start going out a bit more, you start speaking to other people, and you're like, no, it can get better. No, they're not good. It wasn't helping. Like I see his eyes spitting.
I relate. That's hilarious. But
I was gonna say,
I'm glad you brought
go
it up, Oliver. And Chris, you can go on after this. He played as almost like a right winger today, which when I saw that, my fucking heart dropped to my asshole. I'm not gonna lie, because last time I saw Havertz at right wing was Everton under Lampard, or that's one of the memories I had, and I remember that being absolutely atrocious. I never wanted to see him there again.
But there's a difference,
worked
though. There's a difference in it's not really a wide right in this type of formation. It's more like an inside forward sort of thing, because the width goes to the wing backs. Do you know what I mean? Usually, so
Yeah.
That's it. Also, I think credit his, whatever you think his form, I think it's credit to the formation change as well, in terms of the whoever's with him up there, they're more closer to him.
Yeah.
Instead of like with the 4-2-3-1, you got Felix behind and 2 out wide, they're not that close, and he feels he needs to come wider or drop deeper to do a lot of things. Whereas now it's like, if it's a Felix, a Sterling, a Mudryk, or something like that, they're a lot closer to him. So
I was gonna say with like Kai Havertz,
Chris.
like this is a typical Kai Havertz like second half of the season though. What I'm waiting for is like, because we're probably gonna keep Kai Havertz to next season. I don't see us getting rid of him. Like there's no talks of like him getting being gone like a lot of other players, but it's the start of next season, because this is where I get frustrated with Kai Havertz. He never shows up in the first half. Never. I've never seen him actually show up in the first half of any like Chelsea season. He's been 3 seasons now? Yeah, 3. And he always seems to show up in the second half. The only difference is this season is like he showed up a bit later than normal, but maybe that's like we're changing formation. Now we're going back to a back 3, like Andrew said, like it maybe suits Kai a bit more. I don't know, but yeah, like I have to wait next season with Kai Havertz, because I don't want to oh, he's back, he's gone back to himself. I've been like thinking, oh, maybe Kai's gonna turn the corner now, and here we are this season. He's not. Like, I don't know, like he needs to like have a good first half of the season, and then continue it maybe hopefully second half as well, and get more goals as well, because if he wants to be like, up that forward line and striker option or whatever, he needs more goals to his game as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, listen, you guys know I'm a Havertz sexual. I love the guy. Yeah. He's fucking phenomenal. He's one of my favorite players. I think he's phenomenal. But I just heard Andrew just. But the thing is that I'm not gonna get carried away, and I'm realistic about his performances this season. He's not been that great. I think he's been okay at best. But the last 3 games, he stepped it up, and I see where it's going, and I hope it keeps going that way. But it's on him, and it's on Potter and how they play him and all that stuff. So seeing him as this almost like a false 9-10 position, I've been saying it for a while. This is where you get the best out of him. And it's working out great, even with João Felix in the lineup, which I was in doubts about. I thought once João Felix is in that lineup, he's going to be stuck as a striker. And lo and behold, it's working out with both of them in the lineup, which is good to see because they're both good players if you play them right. So I'm happy to see it. And I hope it keeps going. I'm not going to get carried away and say, oh, Havertz is back. Oh, Ballon d'Or Havertz or whatever, whatnot. Like,
that shit
let's take it. Let's take it a game at a time and see what happens. But going forward, speaking on going forward, by the way, how are we feeling going into Everton? Are we going to stick with this lineup? Do we keep Mudryk on, or does Sterling come right back in? Does Reece James get more? Well, Reece James definitely comes back in, but do we persist with Cucurella, or does Badiashile make a return? I think we stick with the same exact lineup, and then go into international break, and then the players can get a rest there. I think go with the same exact lineup minus Mudryk and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, obviously, meaning bring back Sterling into that lineup and bring back Reece James going into that. How about you guys?
I don't know. I'm fine with Reece not starting. Like, if he needs more rest, like I know he's only ill, but like if he doesn't need to play, I'm fine with him not playing because Loftus-Cheek had a good game. Like he's in good form based on this last game. On the Mudryk thing, I think I would agree in terms of dropping him potentially. Or I say dropping him, that makes it sound bad. Like not starting him just because I don't think Everton like suits him as a team. But yeah, apart from that, like I'd always probably be fine as well with like maybe with Madueke coming in because of the way type of player he is. Like with Everton, probably going to be quite defensive. You'd imagine. Like he might be able to make something happen, pull a couple of players apart, create spaces for others. But yeah, like I don't know, but it's a good what's it called? It's a good problem for Potter to have to be in this situation. And I think I'd be fine regardless of who plays almost, because all the players that have been in the team recently have cause to be in the team again, if that makes sense. Like they all have played well enough to be in the team again. But if he brought someone like a Madueke, and I'd completely understand it because the type of player probably suits the way Everton want to play, or are going to defend against us. So, like, for me, it works either way. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine either way.
I think for me, I think you mentioned there about does Badiashile come in. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back in. I think with Everton, you've got to kind of try and fight fire with fire in some way because. They're going to play that, that P&P midfield of, Decore, Gay and Anana. They're going to have Cody and Tarkowski on the set pieces. We're going to need some physicality in the box. And Cucurella, as great as he's been recently, I don't want him to get eaten alive. He doesn't have to be exposed like that. So I wouldn't mind Badiashile coming in. And besides that, I guess the rest of it can just stay the same for me personally.
I actually agree with like the Badiashile. Like he's a big physical centre back. He's like 6'4". Like Cucurella is like 5'8", who's not really that big. But if you asked us like after Tottenham and Southampton, we couldn't see a win until like we're saying Everton probably gonna eat us alive because they got a new manager, Sean Dyche.
I was actually worried about Everton.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
And now we've actually somehow kept winning. Like changed formation, so. I'm a lot more confident. I think we actually get through him no problem if we got like the right players maybe in that game. Like hopefully we do have someone like Badiashile like in that defense because he will help massively for set pieces. Like they got a lot of big players as I remember. So yeah, and
Do
you
you know
know how
what-
Sean Dyche plays as well.
Do you know what I could see him doing, or maybe not see him, but do you know what I'd be down for? And this is nothing on the player coming out before, because I thought he had a good game, then has a good games. But if you are wanting that physicality in the air, and like for set pieces, both defensively and offensively, I could see him potentially dropping Koulibaly for Badiashile, because I think Badiashile can do that central centre back job.
Really?
We've seen in terms of passing, he can definitely do it.
Yeah,
And I think he offers a little bit more in the air from a physical standpoint, and just in terms of attacking set pieces, than Koulibaly. So I'd be happy with that. As I said, I'd kind of be happy either way with anything.
I think it's a little too much pressure to put in kid.
I don't think so. He's played Chalobah there, and it worked.
Scott, my suggestion was to play Badiashile instead of Cucurella instead of Koulibaly. I don't know what you think of that.
Potentially, like that. Again, it just comes on how he's going to manage it. Like, if he's going to manage Cucurella in the right way, if he does take him out, then that's fair. I can get behind that. Again, I can kind of get behind anything in terms of like the players he brings in. Something you mentioned about someone, I think it might have been you, Marshall, mentioned about the pace and power of the midfield. One thing I can potentially see him doing, again, like this, I don't know if I'd be happy with, but I can maybe get behind it, is potentially starting Gallagher from the jump. Maybe going like a 3-man midfield to match them, especially if you're going to want to play Enzo and Kovacic again. Maybe see that, and then potentially changing it at half time depending on how it's going, or changing it later on in the game depending on how the game's going.
Zakaria.
Yeah, potentially.
Zakaria too is another option, yeah. Which I'm kind of confused as to why we haven't seen more of him. But hey, it's been working out. I'm not going to complain. It's been working out with Koba and Enzo. Final thoughts, guys, before we end the stream?
Just as I said earlier, long may this continue. Like, if it continues, we'll have no complaints.
Everyone Potter in now?
Nope.
Yeah,
I think you can still be Potter out, but you know what? Last 2 games especially,
there's a glimmer of hope
praise.
there.
There's praise. Same with the players. They deserve praise. Hope it continues. Listen, anyone who's Potter out deep down, you want to be proven. You want to be proven wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, if you're proven wrong, it means the club's successful.
Yeah.
Same with the players. I want to be proven wrong. You know what I mean? That's what I want, and that's what every Chelsea fan should want. Like next week, Everton, get the job done, get to 40 points. That's target 40 done before the international break. Come back, remember next Friday we find out who we're going to play in the quarterfinals and potentially semi-finals of the Champions League as well. So
that's pivotal.
It's mad we're talking about stuff like that.
Give me AC Milan,
crazy.
Bro. Give me AC Milan.
Yes, please.
And the
Yes,
winner,
please.
and and like
Inter
the
would be
winner,
nice.
like a winner of a Benfica Porto or something. Do you know what I mean? Something like
It
that.
almost feels like Potter looked at himself in the mirror and was like, oh yeah, I'm Super Grand Potter. I have that.
He went, oh yeah, I've got a better European record than Conte. That's what he said.
Hey!
That's true.
Man. Actually, I don't think he does technically. Like, I think Conte has, but he's close.
I'll
like,
allow
he's
it
nearly
today.
there.
I think we'll allow it.
He's nearly there, and he's only had 1 season in the Championship, or 1 season in Europe. He's only had 1 season in the Championship and 1 season in it was the Europa League with Ostersund's. He's nearly there. He's not quite there, but I think he's only like 2 or 3 games off of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Liverpool lost, so they can hold that, man.
I
Hell
can't
yeah.
believe they lost.
I can.
I can.
Liverpool lost.
It's
It's a great day. It's a great day to be a Chelsea fan.
I'm just annoyed we ain't where Liverpool are. I'm annoyed. We should be.
It is what it is, but it's not too late to turn it around. We could always pick it up. We don't know, but we'll take it a game at a time. Like I said, even though I'm still Potter out, I'm there to be convinced.
Yeah.
Right. I am there to be swayed, and at the end of the season, I can look back at this and be like, you know what? When he did this, he finally turned it around, and I can now see the potential for this to be good and be a fruitful endeavor that the owners are seeing with this owner and a long-term project, which God, I hope Chelsea can get a long-term project. I hope that exists, and I hope we can get it. But on that note, ladies and gents, we're going to go ahead and raid Sarcasm City. He hasn't started yet, but he will be starting in about 8 minutes or so, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7, some amount of minutes.
I will be over there for that podcast.
The refs will decide the stoppage time, so make sure if you are going over there, we have a raid message you guys can use. Make sure you go ahead and spam that in his chat. Let him know where you're coming from. Let them know you came from the Casuals, from the Casually FC channel.
We're also 12 subs away from 1700.
Yes, please. We're really close to 1,700 subscribers. Make sure, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be back here tomorrow to talk about the Chelsea news that has happened all this week. A lot of things to talk about that I'll be making sure to prepare a show for you guys tomorrow. We'll be discussing that 10 o'clock UK time as usual. And then who knows what else we'll do along the week. International break is coming up as well. We're going to be providing you guys with some content, some React, and who knows what else. So be sure to stick around for that. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do those streams. Smash the like button if you haven't done so already. 105 of you 105 of you, and we're only at 57 likes. Come on, guys, let's get that like percentage up and at them. So smash that like button if you haven't already done so. Check out the links in the description. Check out the links in the description for all other content as well that we do on here, and leave a comment down below if you're watching this in the future. Let us know what you thought about the game and what you thought about our thoughts. And memberships, subscribe to be a casual, starting at 99p. We're one membership away from getting our new emoji, which I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So that being said, up to Chelsea. We finally got our win. Love to see it. But guys, you have a wonderful rest of your night and stay casual. Peace.